Let's talk about some Titans. Let's talk about some Deathstroke. Let's talk about some Hawk and Dove. Talk about some Robin. NERDSoul. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Today, coming with another wonderful episode of On Screen. NERDSoul, hip hop geek, put it together, have a wonderful time. You know what we're here for. There's been a 3-month jump. So let's get into Titans. And speaking of that 3-month jump, that leads me to believe even more that episode 1 was really the finale for season 1. Because why would you jump like that but look, that don't matter. We gonna leave that alone. We're doing episode 2 and 3. I got some questions for you. 1, do you see Dr. Light and Deathstroke working out in the long term? 2, do you see Dick Grayson ever opening up to the kids about what happened before? And 3, do you see Robin sticking along, Robin meaning Jason Todd, Robin sticking along for the rest of the show? Because I like Jason Todd's addition and his entry into the season and to the series, kind of like being a mainstay that is the connection with Batman, the Bat family, but so starkly different from Dick Grayson and how he was, of course, under Bruce and everything, and his feelings about that, his feelings of maybe not being the best Robin or, needing training or, how he feels about being there in general. Also, I think it's cool to see him training. Those training sequences with Raven, with Beast Boy, with Gar, they're a lot of fun to watch. The whole thing with him being blind, he's like, just hit me, attack me or whatever. And then when you hit him, he's like, yo, you hit me. I had a blindfold on. I love this show, man. I love this show, especially for a show whose first 2 episodes I was very shaky on. I'm loving this show. I'll touch on this in a second. The trainings are great. They provide a cool space to have some action sequence. A cool space for them to have one-on-one connection with each other, whether it's Rose and Dick Grayson or, like Raven and Gar, something like that. It gives a great quiet space for that. And they just, like I said, they're either great for comedy gold or they're great to see stuff like Raven maybe work on her powers and get more in control of what's going on with her internally. So with that out of the way, I want to talk about, of course, the older squad for a second. There's a homecoming that we see, and it's not the best homecoming because, of course, they're forced to due to being under attack. You got Hank and Dawn kind of chilling. They see they kind of moved on. They're trying to restart their lives, and I love that they have this simple life thing going where they're still pouring into someone else, like by helping them, by encouraging them and giving them like counseling and allowing them to kind of rehabilitate themselves. But they're not out there like fighting. Well, of course, we find out that Dawn is sneaking around and beating up people in meth labs. But, it's a beautiful thing to see that they found some peace, some solace, until, of course, Dr. Light gets out. And speaking of Dr. Light, before we talk about him a little more later on after the jump, I think he's a great villain. And when used right, even in the comics, Dr. Light is actually a pretty credible threat. And you see right here how he's almost, I guess you could say, intentionally targeting them. And we find out, of course, later why. It's very cool to see his kind of methodical attack against the older Titans because, of course, they put him in jail 5 years ago, as we learned in the show. And that's what I dig so much about the history here with the Titans, is that there's a lived-in idea. There's a lived-in feeling that these people know each other. They have been together before, or this criminal, Dr. Light, this super villain has dealt with them, and there's pain and there's memories and there's revenge needed and, Deathstroke and all this stuff is working together very well to create a world that seems like we're being dropped into a situation where they've already lived their lives for the most part. You know, Deathstroke has a long history behind him. We have, you know, a history of his son and being dead and the daughter coming back to want to kill him and Dr. Light being in jail and wanting revenge on the top and all of this. And of course, the older Bruce. And there's so much of a good attempt, a very good attempt at creating a lived-in world where it seems like these relationships are real and that these friendships are real and that their feelings are actually not only understandable, but very valid under the circumstances that they're in. And I dig this show, man. This show is just crushing it on that level. Now, we got some other stuff to get to after the break. We got to talk about Rose. We got to talk about Deathstroke. We got to talk about Jason Todd, his crazy self. And then we also got to talk about general placement of people in charge, people that are in position to be followers, people that are protectors, tons of stuff going on. But first, of course, KURO Brand's gonna help us pay them bills.
I'm Victor Danders, the hardest working man in comics, co-creator and writer of the hit series The Samaritan, and you're watching NERDSoul. Enjoy.
Oh yeah, check the link below. Hats, shirts, hoodies, all that jazz. And once you find something you like, of course, cop it. Now let's get into Deathstroke for just a second. I think not only was this man casted well, but the nature in which he is looking to attack the Titans fits that type of attitude, that type of mentality of how he attacks an opponent. You know, you have this scene with Dr. Light, like, yo, man, I'm out. I want to kill him. I want to do my thing. I want to take him down. And he's like, yo, no, ease up. You know what I'm saying? We got some new players out there. You know, he don't know where Starfire is. Homegirl burnt a man to a crisp in like 4 seconds in the middle of the street. You think he don't know that? So he like, yo, look, there's some new people in play. Some people are gone, but there's some new people here. Raven, I don't know her powers. Starfire, I don't know her powers. I don't know what Gar can or can't do when it comes to being various animals. There's a lot we don't know. So let's play chess, not checkers. And even Dr. Light seeing him like, yo, word. And I like that we have kind of this, maybe the beginnings of a cabal of villains, but my question circling back to the beginning, do you think that Dr. Light's kind of attitude and outlook on life will wear thin on Deathstroke? Or are you like, do you think he's like, yo, I'm not really into the dude, but he's a means to an end? Because I mean, we get the scene where he does a great job of luring everybody out to the stadium and we knew it was a trap. They knew it was a trap, but it worked. He got him out there. He actually got some hits off, got Hank, you know what I'm saying? And Deathstroke was able to watch that, you know what I'm saying? Then lures him out there to the sewers. Gets only Gar and Jason out there on their own, split up, no doubt, like dummies, because they are so unprepared. It's kind of one of those things, you don't know what you don't know. And that's why Dick is like, yo, let me train y'all. Trust me, help you. But, you know, speaking of help, we're going to put that on the back burner for a second. We got Starfire. Corey gets picked up. Now we know that it's from the Royal Guard. And she has to come back and fulfill her duties back home as the queen. And learning about their relationship. Oh, also, that dude in the Royal Guard is the dude that had AIDS in that Tyler Perry movie. Remember when, like, the girl, it was like, I don't know, Obsession or something. No, that's the one with Beyonce. Whatever. He gave AIDS to the girl, remember? And then Brandy, the other guy ended up getting with Brandy. Anyway, don't worry about that. I'm saying I see that. But them being together, we learn so much about Tamaran, which is just nice pieces to get in a way that's conversational instead of expository. And that's something that this show does very well. We learn through our conversations here, and they could sit down and be like, hey everyone, here's what happened way back then. But they speak to each other as normal as possible. I mean, it's still Hollywood, it's still a TV show, but they speak, like normal people talk. They don't use a lot of the pronoun game and stuff like that. They kind of just straight up like have conversations, and we learn about their history. And whether it's from Tamaran with her relationship with the dude way back when they had a little love thing going down, or the situation of the caste system that they have there and why she likes it here on Earth. Also, the situation with Dick Grayson and Donna and what happened to the old team. And is he going to tell that to the new team? There's so much that we learn in the show that just comes down, and the show is really killing it, man. This show is on a roll. And the last thing I want to talk about, speaking of being on a roll, is shared trauma. We get Rose and we get Raven. And Raven we learn that this isn't just a every now and then outburst, because, of course, she has changed now from last season. Last season, we knew she was trying to keep it in check, but there's been a change there. So we don't know, is she still dealing with this? Is this still tough to deal with? Is it as hard as it used to be? Or is this something that, is manageable now? And we find out that, no, it's not. She is completely, overwhelmed and trying to continue to keep this kind of like darkness at bay, and figure out a way to use it or control it, instead of just consistently just kind of keep the door closed. And then we, find that Rose might be in the same situation. I said maybe because we'll talk about that in a second, the last little piece. Her and her father, they ain't vibing right now. And then of course, Raven and her father, don't seem to be no love lost. So that shared trauma between them, also between Gar and Jason Todd, like this feeling of being like, not part of the team, but we're not really part of the team. People don't really trust us all the way. We got Gar still looking sideways at at Dick Grayson because dude basically killed him. There's these things where they're pairing off and really being able to open up to each other, and then also in lieu opening up to us, the viewer, and it's dope. So before I bounce, holla at me. I'm gonna holla at you down in them comments. Let's talk Titans, and I got a question for you. Do you think Rose is Terra in this show? Do you think Rose is who she says she is? Yeah, I'm gonna leave you with that. So before we bounce, I'm gonna tell you to hit up ThatNERDSoul.com. That's right, check me out right there. All my videos with the oldest, newest, latest, greatest, and all that. Then hit up shop.ThatNERDSoul.com and pick yourself up a t-shirt player. Don't forget to get one for them Thwaites. Then come back here, like, comment, subscribe, and share that NERDSoul. That's right, there's no better way that I can show people that you, like what you are watching. So, LA, what up? VA, what up? RVA, you got my heart, and please be good to yourselves. Please be good to each other, and remember, whenever someone says to split up, do not split up. Peace.